I woke up feeling irritated this morning. It wasn't like any other day. Something about today felt different, and I couldn't shake the bad mood that seemed to follow me around. As I got out of bed, I saw my mom in the kitchen, humming happily as she made breakfast. But for some reason, her happiness made me angrier. I didn't want to be mad, but I couldn't help it. It all started last night. Mom had promised that we would go to the park today after school, but as usual, she broke that promise. She said she had too much work, and I was left with nothing to do but stay at home. I couldn't understand why she couldn't just make time for me. Mom never really understood how much I looked forward to our time together. Every time I asked her to do something, she would make excuses. Sometimes she said she was too tired, or that she had too many chores. I always tried to be patient, but today I just couldn't. The anger bubbled up inside me like a volcano, ready to erupt. I walked into the kitchen and sat at the table, glaring at her. She didn't notice me right away, too focused on stirring the pancake batter. I crossed my arms and stared at the wall, refusing to say a word. Why should I speak first when she was the one who let me down? She finally turned around and smiled, but I didn't smile back. "Good morning, sweetie," she said, her voice too cheerful for my mood. "Good morning," I mumbled, barely looking at her. She raised an eyebrow. "You don't seem like yourself today. What's wrong?" I could feel my anger building up again. "You always do this, Mom. You promise things, but you never keep your word. I've been waiting for days to go to the park, and now you're just going to break that promise too." Her face fell slightly, but she tried to stay calm. "I'm sorry, honey. I know I said we'd go, but things came up. You know I have to work." "I don't care," I shouted, standing up from the table. "You always have work. I'm tired of hearing about work. What about me? Don't I matter?" She looked taken aback by my outburst. "Of course you matter. You're everything to me, but sometimes I have to prioritize other things." I shook my head. "I don't care about your priorities. I care about spending time with you." She sighed, placing the spatula down and walking over to me. "I know you do, and I'm sorry that I can't always give you the attention you deserve. But I promise, I'm doing my best." I crossed my arms again, feeling the anger start to fade, but the disappointment still lingered. "It's not good enough," I muttered. Mom knelt down in front of me and gently placed a hand on my shoulder. "I know I make mistakes, but I love you more than anything. I'll make it up to you, I promise." I wanted to believe her. I really did. But right now, all I could feel was the hurt. "It's not about promises anymore, Mom. It's about showing up when you say you will." She nodded slowly, her eyes filled with understanding. "You're right. I'll try harder, okay? I'm sorry." For a moment, we just stood there in silence. I wasn't ready to forgive her yet, but deep down, I knew she was doing her best. "Okay," I whispered. "Thank you for understanding," she said, pulling me into a hug. I didn't say anything more. But for the first time today, I felt a little lighter. Maybe things would get better. Maybe I didn't need to be so angry at her after all. And just like that, the storm inside me calmed.